Beautiful beings, we have a message for you today, and I want to jump in here and let you know this message that came through from one of our good friends, Ivana. And this message is on knowing and not knowing. And I want to ask you, how does it settle in your body when it comes to knowing versus not knowing? The things that we think we know, or the things that we don't know, the things that we don't know yet, the things that we are learning and yearning and earning and acquiring. What are we letting go? And how are we letting go of the things that we think we know? And how can this be freeing for you? Do you feel it disconcerting when you don't know everything? Do you feel it is a scary feeling when there are certain elements or certain things in life that you just are unaware of? Do you have a craving for knowledge, like, I gotta know, I gotta understand everything? Or do you have a certain feeling within you that, you know what, I'm okay, I don't need to know everything. I have the rest of my life. It's all good. So this is the question today. And this is the message that came in. Our good friend Ivana from the Czech Republic had a message that said, you must always be willing to truly consider evidence that contradicts your belief and admit the possibility that you may be wrong. Intelligence isn't knowing everything. It's the ability to challenge everything you know. I feel like, and I had this conversation with a friend, one of the most beautiful things about being human and being in this human form and having this human mind is that we are not infallible. We are fallible human beings. We get things wrong, right? We don't know everything. But isn't that the beauty? Isn't that the wonder? Isn't that the mystery of it all? To be in amazement, to cultivate a sense of curiosity, to understand that I don't know all there is to know. And that can be a wonderful feeling because life becomes an adventure. What if you knew everything? What if you were this profound and powerful psychic that had all the knowledge that there ever is and ever was, right? What if you always knew what was coming up? Would there be any surprises? Right? What would the gift of knowledge be if you already knew it? And what if you were a yogi that went up into the mountains and meditated for 12 years on end and received nirvana or achieved enlightenment, and then all of a sudden you knew everything? How would your demeanor be? Would there still be excitement within you? Would there still be joy within you? Or would that knowledge in some roundabout way become a burden? We've heard of avadutas and people who have enlightened themselves in life, and they adopt a very passive facial expression. No longer needing to smile or frown, just being. Because they know the things that we don't know. It is in those times that I question, do I really need to know everything? All that I know is that I do not know. We hear Greek philosophers throughout history, Plato and Socrates, speaking of not knowing and that there is virtue in not knowing. Understanding, right, that if we look at a pie graph, the things we know might be really small, right? The things we know we don't know could be a little bigger. But the things we don't know, we don't even know, right? The unknown unknowns are vast. There's so much we don't even know we don't know. Isn't that fascinating? That there's no end to it. It is infinite. You could go the rest of your life learning the rest of your entire life. You could spend lifetimes just learning. For as Plato said, I am the wisest man alive, for I know this one thing, and that is I know nothing. I remember reading a comic book, and this comic book was on Doctor Strange, one of my favorite Marvel superheroes, the Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange, wah, you know? And Doctor Strange was in a catacombs with his apprentice, and she was with him in this dark chamber, this dark tomb in the catacombs, and there were different ghouls and goblins and skeletons and creaks and crags around every corner, and spiders and webs and cobs and all sorts of stuff, and torches lit and lamps and things to be found in the catacombs. And they came to a gigantic door, and this door was closed shut tightly. It had been closed for centuries. And Dr. Strange and his apprentice came up to the door, and he said, yeah, I don't have a good feeling about this. I don't know. We may find trouble on the other side. And his apprentice asked him, are you sure? And Dr. Strange said something that I thought was profound. He said, you know, I have lived far too long, seen far too much to ever be sure of anything. How is that for humility, right? You've seen far too much, right? You've lived far too long to be certain of anything. One thing I am certain of, and that is that nothing is certain. One thing I know for sure, and that is nothing is sure. These truths can often seem paradoxical in life. But when we always keep open that door of possibility, when we always keep that door cracked, the door of perception, so that we can at least peek in on a new point of view, I think that's a wonderful state to be in. Never close the door shut on knowing. Realize that there is so much more that you don't know. And life can be a wonderful mystery, a wonderful adventure that can keep you entertained every day of your life. There's always something new. Now, as Albert Einstein says here, the more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know. And isn't that paradoxical? Because we can come here, we can read all these books, right? The Tao Te Ching, right? We can read the Kabbalion, you know, we can read books on all these different teachings and ancient ways of being. But the more we acquire, the more we learn, the more we realize how much we don't know. And we realize how much we don't know, the more we learn. It's like it just keeps going. The scales keep tipping. Oh, I think I knew, but I didn't know. But now I know, but no, not really. Oh, that's interesting. Ooh, very curious. Ah, insightful. Prodigious. There was a character, I think his name was Izzy, on Digimon. I used to watch Digimon. The digital testeds, right? The digitesteds. In the digital world of Digimon. Now I remember a character, Izzy. And he was the smart one, right? The intelligent one. And he always used to use this word, prodigious. Whenever he would learn something new, whenever somebody would bring something to his attention that he had not calculated, it wasn't factored into his knowledge, right? It wasn't in the database. Prodigious. Eureka, right? The wonderful feeling we can get when we learn something new. And in learning something new, we realize how much we did not know. I love it. So here is a way to find freedom by not knowing. If you have ever felt disconcerted, or if you've ever felt that not knowing was a scary feeling, that there was fear and uncertainty, I have a message for you. It's a little poem here that I like. It says, "The freer I get, the higher I go. The higher I go, the more I see. The more I see, the less I know. The less I know, the more I'm free. Think about that poem to yourself. How can you find freedom? By not knowing. I'll tell you one of the ways that I found it. Had I gone through more schooling, had I gone past my bachelor's, had I gone to get maybe a master's degree or a PhD or really elevated myself with all this education, there would have been so much I would have had to unlearn to be able to accept certain things that I have accepted today. That a certain amount of skepticism has been healthy in life, and a healthy amount of not knowing has been extraordinary. I am actually grateful and thankful for all the things I do not know, because they have allowed me to believe and have inspired me to imagine. For even as Albert Einstein once said, imagination is more important than knowledge. So what is intelligence to you, my friend? What do you view as knowing? As we see that for some schools of thought, intelligence is not because you think you know everything without questioning, but rather because you question everything you think you know. Thank you so much for listening, my friend, and thank you so much for being. Really appreciate your presence today. Oh, Carly, hey there. What's going on, Carly? Carly says that's exactly how I feel. Yes, yes. Hey, Mike. Mike says perfect timing. Hey, you in alignment. Appreciate you. Haruka says I am a bit of a control freak, need to know. Or if a control freak, a need to know. Nikita says, I want to know everything. I feel restless if I don't. Ooh, very interesting. I trust that this was able to alleviate a little bit of that restlessness for you, Nikita. That, you know, you're so young, you have the rest of your life ahead of you, but we don't need to know it all, you know? There's been so many times where I've seen movies like Prometheus, if you've ever seen that Alien movie in the Alien series, Prometheus. And there were a group of explorers that were like that. They had to know. They just had to know, right? They wanted to go to the fringes of the galaxy, the fringes of space, and figure out, where did we come from? Where did human beings come from? What was the ancient civilization or the alien, the intergalactic beings that we came from? And spoiler alert, they ended up finding out more than they bargained for. So we can question ourselves, do we need to know everything? It can be an obsession that can lead you somewhere, but if you don't get there, if you don't ever arrive, can you be content with not knowing? Can you be okay with understanding that you don't have to know all there is to know? Awesome. Nikolai says the frequency is high around Iceland. Wonderful, brother. Yes. Thank you for breathing with us today. Oh, appreciate you. Tracy says, knowledge makes the infinite finite. Ooh, interesting. I like that. Yeah, I like that. I like how you spun that. That's cool. Nikita says, I am certain about uncertainty in life. Ooh, yes. Impermanence, you know, impermanence nature. The only constant is change. Being certain about uncertainty. I love it. Y'all are just in here today. Yes, Tamika says the neutral observer. You know, that's like, there's a Marvel character, I believe, either Marvel or DC, but he's called the Watcher. And he just watches. He just observes. He's got this like planetary cosmos like observatory, and he sees all the comings and goings throughout the galaxy and throughout all the galaxies, and he just watches, the neutral observer. And it's his job to just watch and not interfere. Fascinating. Hey George, what's going on, family? Appreciate you being here, peaceful warrior. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, Thomas, we've been doing the lives every day, brother. All right. Wonderful. Hey, Ayla, thank you for joining. Zyra says, not forcing yourself to know everything sets you free and makes you happy with the things you have, the things you know, and the place you're in. It's in being still that we go beyond. Ooh. Magnifique, c'est bon. Ooh. I love it. So wonderful beings, thank you so much for being with us and breathing in this space with us today. Thank you for your love, your light, your energy. I feel it all. Appreciate the hearts and the shares. Definitely, if you're watching this, live, hashtag live. And if you're catching this on the replay, go ahead and drop that hashtag replay there. Drop a nugget of wisdom for us if you'd like, or anything that you were able to take away from this. And share this message with someone who would like to hear it, or someone you feel would gain value from it. Ding the bell notification by my name to be notified whenever we do these live sessions. And check out the Open Palm podcast. That is the link up there in the bio for your listening pleasure, your daily inspiration, my friend. Be well, be blessed. Enjoy this breath. Make the rest of your life the best of your life. And realize that even if you don't know, it's okay. That not knowing can be the most humbling and freeing feeling ever. So, I'll leave you with that. Blessings to you. Much love. Take care. We will catch you very, very soon. At least, I think we will. Or I know we will. What do you know?